Episode 9 is said to have many different connections to the prequel trilogy, the originals, and even Star Wars Rebels, as well as Legends/EU material by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people, including myself, am very excited to see in Episode 9 is exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to connect this movie to, of course, Star Wars Rebels content as well as prequel trilogy stuff as well. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with the characters of Ahsoka Tano and Ezra Bridger in Episode 9, and big hints of these characters playing a big role in the third act of the movie. Specifically, a description of Rey, Finn, and Poe witnessing a large explosion in the distance that was said to be the explosion of one of the First Order bases. The next goes over a character codenamed EB, next to another character codenamed AT, both of which have lightsaber hilts attached to their belts, and appear to be older versions of Ahsoka and Ezra Bridger. The next goes over both characters EB and AT, blowing up a wall that leads to the interior of the First Order headquarters. The AT character is described to be an older female Togruta with the same montrals as Ahsoka Tano, where the EB character is wearing a green vest that is all ripped up and sports a goatee with long black wavy hair. It's described that there is a moment when these two characters force push 5 stormtroopers off of a catwalk as they infiltrate the base and report back to Maz Kanata and her gang of pirates. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, there are a ton of hints here that this is, of course, most definitely Ahsoka Tano and, of course, Ezra Bridger in Episode 9. Now, we do know that J.J. Abrams has had a lot of discussions with, of course, Dave Filoni, which, by the way, is the showrunner of Star Wars Rebels as a TV series. And we also know that Jon Favreau also had a lot of talks, with, of course, Dave Filoni before he actually began work on The Mandalorian. So you can really see how they're trying to keep a lot of the continuity in place here for Episode 9, connecting to the prequels, the originals, and even Star Wars Rebels material. So first things first, this is actually described to be a sequence in which Rey, Finn, and Poe witness a large explosion of one of the bases of the First Order. Now, this is actually followed up by a sequence that involves the characters codenamed AT and, of course, the other one of which is EB. Now, this, in my opinion, most definitely stands for Ezra Bridger and Ahsoka Tano without a doubt, not to mention that they do have lightsabers attached to their belts. And, of course, the sequence in which they infiltrate the First Order headquarters by blowing up a wall and going inside of the first level and using the Force to force push 5 stormtroopers out of the way off of a catwalk before reporting back into Maz Kanata and her gang of pirates. So this whole entire scenario, we do know that there is going to be an infiltration scene from the Resistance going into the First Order headquarters. It's actually where the lightsaber duel between both Rey and Kylo Ren starts to begin, and you can really see what J.J. Abrams is trying to do as far as putting in a lot of action sequences into the film. Now, as far as Ahsoka Tano goes, I know a lot of guys out there have been talking about this on whether or not it's a good or a bad idea to include a character from an animated TV series into live action form. Now, like I say, they have done this quite well in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story with Saw. In Saw Gerrera, they actually had that character in live action form in that film. That was a character taken directly from the Clone Wars material, except in the Rogue One movie, he's the older version of that character. So it seems as though that J.J. Abrams really wants to do that in and on itself for Episode 9, doing his own take on an animated TV series character or characters and inserting them into a live-action Star Wars movie. Now, we also know that there's a lot of rumors aside from Episode 9. There's a lot of rumors out there that they're going to be involved in Star Wars The Mandalorian. So this has nothing to do with Episode 9 right now. The Mandalorian, by the way, is an upcoming live-action TV series. There's a lot of talk out there that there's actually going to have, a lot of the Star Wars Rebels characters being implemented into that series. So Ezra Bridger and Ahsoka Tano is actually said to be a lineup for that. Now, the other one of which that I do want to go over is this whole entire battle sequence. In case you guys did not know, we talked about this recently. This whole entire battle sequence takes place within the third act of the film, and it's going to really be based off of the beach of Normandy. It's going to have a lot of the characters from legacy characters like Leia and Lando Calrissian, as well as Chewbacca, and even the sequel trilogy characters like Kylo Ren and Rey, as well as the brand new ones like Dominic Monaghan's character, Kerry Russell's character, you name it. So this movie really does have a lot going for it, especially when it comes to Rebels content and what J.J. Abrams plans to do in order to truly make something very unique out of this movie that's going to really, stick with fans and make them talk, years on end about this movie. And in order to satisfy a lot of people around the world, I think that J.J. Abrams, since he has Chris Terrio by his side, Terrio, by the way, is implementing a lot of Legends stuff as well, so that's another thing to look forward to. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From nights in the